Are you looking to grow revenues, increase profitability, or obtain financing? If so, you came to the right place.
Running a business is all about leadership. How do you become a better leader? Learn from the successful entrepreneurs and business owners how to lead your organization more effectively. That's why we created Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, to help you succeed with your host, Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO and founder of the Small Business Pro University. Every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're joined by experienced entrepreneurs and business owners who share their secrets to success via Livestream. Also, every Friday morning, we release a new podcast episode. Either way, you will learn about developing your business leadership skills from our roster of highly performing guest experts. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.
Good evening. Welcome to Leadership Live at 8:05. I'm your host, Andrew Frazier, and very excited to be joining you once again on Tuesday evening. Each week, I love to have a great conversation, just talking about small business with a special guest. We focus on different areas based on their expertise, but really talking to people who are business owners or work closely with small business owners and really understand some of the key things that you need to know to be successful in small business. So this week, very excited. My guest is Alejandra Giron, and we're going to be talking about building your strategy team. As a business owner, yes, of course, you're great, but two heads are better than one, three heads are better than two. So nobody makes it alone. And by getting the support to help you develop your strategy, makes all the difference in the world. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, how to do that, and really how to be more successful with your business. So let me bring on Alejandra, our guest. Hey, Alejandra, how are you doing tonight?
Hello. Very, very good. Really excited. I'll be honest, I'm a little sleepy, but we have to keep going. And I'm really excited about talking with you today and see how we can, give information to the community that can help them out.
Excellent. So no, I'm excited about having you on tonight. We've worked together in many capacities over the years and with different organizations, but it's all been around supporting the success of entrepreneurs and small business owners, which has been great. And Alejandra has a lot of experience at doing that. She's finance business owner. She helped prepare business owners for financing. She has a good understanding of marketing and other management around small business. So, definitely we're going to have a great conversation and really specific for you if you're a micro business owner. This will really be a focus for you. So, great to have you this evening. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. And but before you do that, just want to say good evening to everybody. Thanks for joining in. We always love to have guests. Please feel free to add comments, ask questions, and we'll make sure that we get around to them. So definitely, let's get started. So Alejandra, you've had this journey. You've done a whole bunch of stuff. Talk to us a little bit about sort of where you started and how you got where you are.
Where I am. Okay, so good evening, everybody. Really excited to be with you today. I hope that we don't make the conversation boring and there's information that you can use to improve your business. Like Andrew said, my name is Alejandra and I work for Valley Bank. I'm a strategic banker, and I can tell you what I'm not to start. I am not a piggy bank, right? A lot of people, when they open a bank account with a bank, they just go deposit their money, and whenever they need it, they go, they take the withdraw, and that's it. There's no relationship. when it comes to the bank. And I am a strategic banker, relationship oriented banker, and I take businesses to the next level, whatever level it be. Sometimes it's a building that's the next level. Sometimes it's a secure credit card to start building credit. But wherever your business is, I'm able to determine what is the next step. And we talk about your goals and dreams to ensure that your business plan and mission is aligned with your goals and dreams. And we can have a team around you that can make it happen. I started my career about 10 years ago doing life insurance. Shortly after, I did mortgages. And after that, I entered the small business world working with a nonprofit organization, a CDFI, a community development financial institution. And I started giving out loans that were really small. People would usually be surprised when they would find out that our organization would be able to give you a loan for $500 to start your business. And they were really little loans. They started from that amount up to 3,000, and then eventually the organization grew enough that we were able to lend up to $50,000 to people. And we were helping the businesses that were not being served by the banks because their businesses were in the stages where there's a lot of risk still. So community development financial institutions are in charge of helping these small businesses that need the support but don't have enough time in business yet. Shortly after that, I went to work for a credit union, and I did a lot of business development there, helping the small businesses and helping the community that has an ITIN number to purchase their home. So I've worked with very interesting customers and different kinds of customers to achieve their goals. They're not the usual customer that would go for a mortgage. And shortly after, I started working for another bank doing strategic planning. So I learned how the bank worked inside, why the interest rates for an account are those interest rates, why the loans have those interest rates, what are the metrics that the bank uses in order to create programs for the communities as well. And now in my current position for Valley Bank, I'm working in the community lending department. And this department was started shortly after what we saw happen with PPP and the pandemic. Valley realized that many of our small business owners had four main issues: the access to capital, access to new networks, access to new markets, and the digital gap. And as you know, a lot of the PPP procedures that the banks were putting in place were electronic. People didn't have their accountant or couldn't convert their own documents to PDF. Not to imagine the customers that didn't speak English and they have a second language as their first language. So Valley, being conscious of that, said, the narrative needs to change. The department needs to change, and we need to start helping those that really help us, because if they grow with us, we're going to be able to guide them in the right direction, and they're going to be supported. So all my life, career life, I've worked in some kind of community lending, and I understand the struggles of the really small businesses and the struggles of the bigger businesses as well. And what I feel is the most important is having the right people in your team to grow, because you can be an expert in your business, but you can't be an expert in every single aspect in your business. And that's why I'm here today. So
okay, great. So thanks for the introduction. You went through a whole bunch of things. First thing I'm going to say is no boringness. So so we're going to have fun and keep it lively.
yes.
Audience is welcome to join in. Second, you talked about one thing I talked to a lot of people about is having a banking relationship. You don't
Yes.
just have a bank account, you need a banking relationship, because that can be a very valuable relationship for you as a business owner in many different ways.
Absolutely.
So, and at the end of the day in business, relationships are everything. You know, it's key to develop a lot of key critical relationships. So, one of the challenges sometimes people have is, how do you develop a relationship?
That is such a good question, Andrew. That is such a good question. How do you build a relationship with a banker? So the first thing you do is that you sit with the banker. You need to make sure that the banker that you're going to work with is somebody that you know, is somebody that you like, and it's somebody that you trust. Those three things are very, very important. Anybody that you add to your team, your advisory board, because sometimes, we're not able to create that team internally. We have to outsource those resources. But you just got to make sure that you like that person first. After that, you open the bank account. So that is not the most important event. However, it's what helps the banker start justifying the advice that they're going to give you. When somebody approaches me, I tell them, listen, you're not going to open just a bank account with me. We're going to have a strategic meeting after. But in order for me to have the meeting with you, you need to show that you have interest in building the relationship with me. The first step is the bank account. After that, you have to talk to the banker about your goals and dreams, because that is what's going to help them structure or help you structure your business to get to those goals and dreams, right? Anytime there's a change in your business, call us. Anytime that you have a problem, call us. Anytime that you have an idea, call us. Anytime that you need a network, like to meet somebody, call us. Sometimes the solutions that we're able to provide might not be the solution that you think you need. I'll give you a good example. You referred me, Andrew, a woman in business that is a salon owner, right? And she was having difficulties at the time of opening the salon because the town where she was planning to open the salon, was giving her a little bit of challenges when it came to the inspection. And what happened is that after I spoke with her, we knew people in the town that were able to go visit her to the salon and bring somebody specialized just for her to point out the things that she needed to fix in her inspection. And then after that, she was able to pass the final inspection, and now she's in business. But that is what building a relationship is. It's, yes, she came and opened the bank account with me, but when she had an issue, she told me. I was able to use my network and the network of the bank to be able to solve that problem for her, right? So I wasn't able to solve a financial problem for her initially, but I was able to solve something else that she needed in order to move past that initial stage of opening. So building that relationship gets you results like that. But again, you have to pick the right person, and you have to know, and trust that person.
Okay, no, excellent points. And that's with, I think, especially with the banking relationship, but with any relationship, even if you think about, who do you have a current relationship with now? It's probably not that good of a relationship unless it's mutually beneficial. So,
right.
And sometimes you have to give first, and that's okay.
Yes.
Because
yes.
It's about building longer term relationships that serve you well. So that's a great point.
It's about building the trust, and the only way for you to build the trust is to just try that first time. If you see that it doesn't go well, then you pivot. But if it goes well, you could say, okay, I can rely on this person. I can rely on this process. This works. But that's how you establish the trust. You try first.
Yeah, and you start small, and then you continue to grow.
Correct.
But it's important in any relationship also that it's not just that you want to have a relationship with them, but you want them to want to have a relationship with you.
Relationship with you. It's almost like a business friendship. That's the best way that I can describe it. It's a business friendship. It's a friend, that you can call when you have a problem. Or I have customers that call me for many things. Sometimes they get emails from other grants that I don't have relationships with. So, as you know, the NJEDA and other organizations in New Jersey have had a lot of programs. So at the bank, at the community lending department, we help many of our customers apply sometimes because, again, the digital gap, the understanding of the documents, sometimes it's very lengthy, right? So we try to build those relationships with the organizations. And sometimes I have customers that tell me, hey, you don't have a relationship with this organization, but they have a grant going on. Can you help me out? And, that also helps because I'm the go-to person for that customer. They say, hey, look, I have this thing with money here. Can you please help me with this? And that's what I want. I want them to call me and say, okay, you're getting a grant. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to pay? Are you going to help do it on payroll? Are you going to expand in the business? Are you going to, what is that money that you're going to get make for you back in return? How are you going to see it flourish? And that's where I come in with the expertise. Again, it's not only opening the bank account, is getting a trusted partner that is able to give you good advice. And it's interested that your business grows.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to continue to talk about these relationships, but we're going to take a break for a minute to learn a little bit more about the Small Business Pro University, who
listen,
the show.
Great tools.
Yeah. And then definitely what we'll focus on is, you've probably heard that you need a personal advisory board, but what is that and how does that work and who should be on it? So that's what we're going to talk about when we get back.
Awesome.
Do you own your business or does it own you? Is your business growing and are you making enough money? As a business owner, there are so many things you need to know to become more successful. Hello, my name is Andrew Frazier, the Business Growth Pro and CFO. I created the Small Business Pro University for you. Small Business Pro University has self-paced, dynamic, multimedia learning experiences created by more than 20 instructors who are business owners just like you. Small Business Pro University will empower you to become a masterpreneur by learning the secrets to creating a successful enterprise, to go from working in your business to working on your business. Take advantage of our strategic coaching program or just simply choose the courses that you need at www.sbprou.com. We will empower you to thrive and not just survive and make more money in any business environment. Great. Welcome back to Leadership Live, talking small business, live at 8:05. I'm here with Alejandra Giron and we're talking small business. So we said that we were going to come back and talk a little bit about your personal advisory board. So what is that and how does that work?
Okay. So it is a group of people that when you have an idea or you have a problem, you can go to them and say, hey, I'm thinking about A, B, and C. Can you give me your thoughts or can you give me your support? Can you help me with your expertise? And again, these people are people that you know, that you like, that you trust. Ideally, these people also know each other and they're able to put their heads together to think about you at the same time when you have a project in mind. And they're there to support you. They're there to tell you when you're wrong, and even when you don't want to hear it. And they're able to provide you with resources when you need it. And that is what an advisory board is.
Okay.
Now, who has to be in that advisory board? Listen, for every business is different because there might be some people that you might need in there depending on your industry. It's I always get excited when I see people in Shark Tank because they're not only getting the money, they're getting the expertise of the shark, right? So usually for a small business, you need a good CPA. Somebody that doesn't tell you, listen, I'm going to make you pay a little bit of taxes. That's not the person for you. The person for you has to say, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to acquire a building? Are you going for funding? What is it that you are doing with the business? And they're able to teach you why the strategy of your tax returns works that way, right? You need a good attorney. A lot of business owners don't have that. You need one. You need a great banker, somebody that is able to solve issues for you, that is able to provide solutions. You also need a good consultant. You need somebody that is also able to think outside the box for you, that doesn't only think about a certain industry, somebody like you, Andrew, somebody that is able to connect all the points together and be able to guide people. Let me see what else, CPA, attorney, business consultant, banker,
like friends,
a good virtual assistant, man, a good assistant. Sometimes people need to delegate. If you have a lot of employees and you can't have an HR person, please have an HR person. It's very important that you have your manuals in check, right? That you have all your trainings for employees in check. And those are the core industries that I can tell you people should have advisory of. And also I would recommend a good realtor, because if only 10% of the small business owners own the building where they have the building, their business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to know somebody that is always going to be looking out for you in the market as well. A really good team.
Okay. And relative to where you are, your people may change over time. So when you're at a certain size, you need certain things. When you get larger, you may need other things. So when you're at the really small level, you may need someone for the financials, but you may not be able to afford your own CPA or attorney, but you can have a bookkeeper that can help you.
You can have a bookkeeper.
And you can take classes.
The other profession that is really good to have is a marketer. Somebody that you can, even if you don't have a full-blown marketing plan, somebody that can start guiding you to see what you can do. Even if you don't pay that person first to do the marketing for you, but somebody that can explain and teach you what you should be doing initially. That is very important nowadays. It's very easy to get lost in marketing, so if you have somebody that is guiding you correctly so you can point your resources to the right crowd, that's another good investment and good relationship to have.
Actually, that's your most important job. So you have to, you as a small business owner, the most important thing you got to do is figure out how to market and sell your products and services, or you won't be in business very long. So
you won't.
Figuring out where you can learn everything possible to do that better. A lot of people go out there selling and never have any sales experience. So how do you think you're going to do a good job?
Yes. And and it's not anybody's fault. It's just that we're used to doing everything ourselves. And the point is being a CEO, not a CEO, chief everything officer, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you have to delegate and find people that can support you, so all that stress doesn't stay on your back. You have to make a business work. You have to make sure that the structures that you put in place, your systems, are working correctly so the money flows to your bank account. And when you do everything, you don't focus on the most important part, which is managing. You're trying, you get busy in the little things, and that you can't get stuck in there. The moment you get stuck in there, you don't grow.
So you end up working in your business rather than on it. In the beginning, you have to work in it more to develop it, but you have to always have an eye towards growing it in terms of figuring out how to do it better and work on it to make it more successful.
Right.
So one of the things that I find can be a pitfall with advisors is you have to understand where they came from. And if you can have
Yes.
advisors who have never been a business owner, but you also have to understand where they're coming from, because many times they are a lot more risk averse, and or have an understanding of it, something, but don't really understand it as well as they would need to if they were a small business owner. So talk a
Right.
little bit about that.
So, I can tell you personally, one of the things that I do is that I try to put myself in the feet of the business owner, in their shoes. And, when I sit down with somebody, it's about where they're at, so I can give you advice until what I can give you advice, and then I have to realize that if you need advice from somebody else, I have to be able to connect you with the right person. That also comes with being a good advisor, that if I don't know something, right? And I can give you the advice you need, I can say, okay, I need to pull in this person to give you the advice that you need, the support that you need.
That's that's key. And another thing I would say is, it's your business, so your advisors can tell you whatever you want, but their job, you want them to give you perspective, to help you watch out for the pitfalls and help you with
Yes.
relationships.
But you know what it is, Andrew, and I'm sorry to cut you off. What
problem.
happens is that people sometimes are not very familiar with their business plan, right? Remember how I said, you're supposed to work on your business, but you're not supposed to work in every little detail, right? You're supposed to understand it to the point where you say, there's something here that is not adding up. There's just, and you know that there's something, right? But then you say, I can't fix it because, I have to do all these other things, right? Who do I find that can help me fix that? But it's almost like when you go to the doctor, like, okay, I know my arm hurts, but where? I don't know. I take it to the doctor so the doctor can figure that out for me. But I know that it hurts there. So it's the same thing. You have to be so familiarized with your business plan, what your plan is, and then based on that, you move forward.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And we're getting some great comments from the audience. Definitely keep them coming. This is a great conversation, and this is some really critical stuff for whatever business you have. One thing that you may not think about as having someone on your advisory board is a potential competitor, because there's other businesses like yours that may be somewhere else, or you have a relationship with someone, and it helps both of you to talk a little bit about what's going on in the industry and everything. So just because you're competing on one level, or you're in the same industry or same type of business, that doesn't mean that you can't benefit each other and learn from each other.
Let me give you a great example of that. So years ago, we used to have two customers that did power washing of windows, right? So one of them figured out that his business was profitable at houses that were about $600,000 and more. And the other one figured out that they could make money with smaller buildings, like 2-story buildings, and that was their they were both in the same industry, just complete different target markets. And what happened is that we introduced each other, and they started sharing business, because one of them would get requests for commercial, right, and the other one would get requests for residential, but the other one didn't do what the other one did. So they started exchanging business. So that became a great partnership, because they both grew in those niches, but by also sharing business that they necessarily wouldn't have touched. The other thing that helps is that that business that might be more time in business than you, or might have seen a similar struggle than you, is able to tell you, I did this to solve that, or this is what happened to me. You might share war stories, solutions. It's always good to know somebody that is in your same industry, because it's almost like a mirror. Not everything is the same, but you're able to share tips that might be able to elevate each other's business. So I'm a pro for community. I love when businesses that are in the same industry know each other, because sometimes that we have um, a group of customers that we met long time ago when I was at the Intersect Fund, and we started with this one lady that had a cleaning business, right? And I knew she did residential cleaning for the longest time. So last year, after all these years, I messaged her and she says to me, "Oh, I'm actually just doing commercial now, but I have 5 other people that do residential." And she gave me 5 numbers of 5 other small businesses. So she wasn't scared to share the information and say, "Hey, here are other 5 people that can help you." And and I called all of them, and I was able to figure out what was the best one for me. But I was happy to see that she was sharing something that not a lot of other business owners do.
Yeah, and you never know where your business is going to come from. So,
Right. Never.
and you're helping people. It's about helping people, and the key is to have a relationship such that people know what you do, people know you, like you, and trust you, so that when they need what you have, they either hire you, or if they know someone else who knows what you have, they will refer you. So
They'll refer you. Or sometimes they don't have time to do a job. They don't have the staff. They don't have whatever it is. And they say, "Hey, call my friend. I can't do it that week, but my friend so-and-so can do it." So it's always good to collaborate and know as many people as possible. Know what your business is and how it's different from others, although it might be the same industry, because that also helps you get more business from other resources that don't necessarily do what you do, but they're in the same industry.
okay, and we got a comment from Karen. She does it all the time. Karen's in
Karen,
Pittsburgh,
that's
and
right.
she's actually does commercial cleaning, and
Awesome.
and no longer does residential. So
Oh, that's great.
definitely that's something that she does as well. So I mean, definitely that's a great example. So now, we're talking about your personal advisors or advisory board. Well, does that need to be something that's formal? Do you need to be like, "Hey, could you be my advisor?" or
You know what?
informal?
Yeah, that's nice, because you're actually asking people. I've never been asked that person. It's just that for my clients, I just happen to be. But it's nice to be asked. "Hey, can you be my advisor? Can you join? Can you meet my other group of people that I discuss my business with?" That's something. Andrew, that in our job, right? In you as a consultant, me as a banker, when they say I've got a business and I have projects, our eyes get woof. We get excited. We go, "Yeah, call me. How can I help? How can I support?" Because in our head, we know what they need in order to get their business appropriately supported. So when you ask us to be part of your advisory board, we're really excited to be in your advisory board, because we love to give advice. That's what we do all day. So
So
so yeah, take advantage of our brain, because we are people that are able to look at, you're in your picture, right? You're in your scenario, and we're able to look at your scenario from a bird's eye view, and we're able to look at everything and say, "Okay, over there we have a challenge. Over here we need to adjust this." And because you're in your business, sometimes you might not notice.
yes, no, definitely. That's key, especially, if we've seen a lot of other businesses, so we can tell you if something's probably not going to work
Yes.
from the beginning before
From
you
the
do it and
beginning,
lose money, or just
yes.
say, that's a good idea. You could do it that way, but this way is even better. Um,
Right.
just, for some guidance and direction.
I'll give you an example. Lately, I've been meeting a lot of customers that tell me, Alejandra, I did everything cash. Everything cash. You see this construction over here? It came from my piggy bank. You know this that I did over here in this project? My money. I don't want to get in debt. And I look at them and I'm like, listen, that's great. You don't have bad debts. That's great. But there's debts that are good, that when they're structured well, they're able to propel you faster than your own cash could.
Yes.
Right? So there's a difference in getting a loan to cover debts from 3 years ago, so you can become current until now, than getting a debt for a piece of equipment that is going to propel your business to the next level. You just got to pick your debts and just make sure that whoever's helping you knows what you're picking the debt. Again, it all goes back to your business plan. What is your mission? Are you aligned? Right? And that alignment also directs your advisory board, because you're telling them, this is where I'm going. Take me there. Right?
Yep.
So it very important. Again, I always go back to the business plan. Super important.
Well, but of course you have to have a business plan to go back to it. And unfortunately,
right, and
a lot of people don't, but they should.
That's why you're there. That's why you're there, Andrew.
So definitely everybody knows they should have one.
Yes.
But a lot of times things get in the way. But if you don't have a plan or a strategy, it's really hard to grow and move forward. So it's critical to take the time out to think about your business and work on making it better, rather than just doing stuff within your business. Yes. So now, we're talking advisory. Definitely some people you may want to have them officially talk to them about being on your board, but you may have other people who are, advisors on certain things at certain times. So you don't have to ask them to be on your board, but you have developed a relationship and you contact them based on the situation. So that's key. And I'm sure you have a lot of, we talk. You're not on my advisory board per se, but But you
put me in advisory boards of your customers.
Yeah.
And that is what is important, that they're getting the advice that they need from the person they need. That's it. You just gotta you just gotta find that person that believes in you and supports you and pays attention to you. And wants to be your friend, wants to see you grow, wants to support you, believes in you, gives you good advice. That every time they give you a piece of advice, you say, wow, that was really good. You might not do it, but you keep it in the back of your mind.
Yep. So key. We've covered good stuff. What I'm going to do is we're going to take a quick break. Just to share some info. But when we come back, I think that we should talk a little bit about, you have these advisors. What do you ask them for? What should you ask them for? And also how can you make it worth their while? Because how are you benefiting them? And what are some ways that you can be valuable to them? Because
actually, you know what? Let's talk about that picture I sent you. Can you pull it up when we come back? Because I think that's the best way to describe a good advisor.
I shall.
Okay.
So
good.
Okay, so great. So I just want to take a second to share a little bit of information. I've been working on some great resources for business owners in terms of memberships to different opportunities. One focused on networking, one focused on building your education so that you can work on your business instead of in your business. And then the third one is focused on, once you're in business and have worked on your business, how to scale it. So this is a little bit about the third one, about how to scale it, the Masterpreneur Club.
Is your business growing, and are you making enough money? If not, you need to join the Masterpreneur Club. The Masterpreneur Club is a community of business owners like you who are focused on growth and making more money. They follow the Masterpreneur Playbook developed by Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO. A proven 5-step business growth plan for creating a sustainable enterprise that can run without you. What exactly is the Masterpreneur Club and why should I join? The Masterpreneur Club is a membership component of the Small Business Pro University that features the opportunity to experience valuable multimedia mini courses and training opportunities, participate in virtual roundtable, group coaching, and knowledge-sharing discussions, access to a powerful network of experienced entrepreneurs, business owners, and thought leaders. We are committed to your success and want to make it affordable to any business owner seeking to accelerate their growth. Don't hesitate. Visit www.masterpreneurclub.com to join the Masterpreneur Club right now.
Hey, Alejandra, welcome back.
Hello.
Okay, so I need you to stall for a second so I can get the image up. But just if you could talk a little bit about in preparation of what the image is that you're going to be showing.
For sure. So I want to show what in our team we like to call the Sangria Timeline. This is a customer that we helped since 2014. And I want to show you how a good advisory board helps at the time of growing as a business. So Andrew, I don't know if you pulled it because I can. Okay, here we go. All right. So at the bank, it's awesome when we tell somebody that they got approved for a loan. And it's very sad for us when we have to tell somebody no. But what we say to them is that no just means not yet. It just means that they're not properly aligned yet. But that doesn't mean that that situation is not going to change. Okay. So I want to introduce you to this Sangria brand. His name is Senor Sangria, and he's a customer of ours, and he has been for a long time. And we met him in 2014, as you can see in the slide. And we met at the New Jersey Liquor Alliance. And originally, when we sat down with them the first time, they said that they wanted a $500,000 goal to get to the next level. However, if you look at this timeline, the end goal, the dream goal, is to buy a winery and a production facility. Because what happens with his sangria is that his sangria has actual fruit juice in it. So right now, in order for him to produce his sangria, he depends on too many people, and he wants to be able to have his own winery and the production for the juice, and be able to put him in one place so he can produce the sangria there. Okay, so as you can see, the first official meeting that we had with him was in December of 2014. The goal was to get him a $500,000 loan for his business. And as you can see, as keep going into the timeline, in 2015, he was declined for that loan. And what happened is that we used the declination, right, as a GPS to align him for a loan. Okay, and that's where the advisory board comes in very handy, because you need somebody that tells you, okay, let's look at the problems. The bank already has the problems that you have, right? We need to improve the tax returns. We need to improve brand awareness. We need to improve payroll, or whatever it is that the problems were. And the business owner, part of the relationship is that they take the advice that we give, okay? And because he was declined, what we recommended to him is to focus on the brand awareness shortly after, because the best way to fund your business is not through a loan, it's through your customers. So when we were able to focus on the brand awareness, we were able to position him in a place where he was able to focus his tax returns in the SBA application. Andrew, the picture left, thank you. So you can see in 2015, we told him to focus on brand awareness because people, his customers, are going to push his sales up, okay? After that, in 2015, same year, we did a strategic meeting again, and we said, okay, we're going to review everything again, what went wrong, what went good, and then we're going to strategize. We did the strategy meeting again. He filled out his tax returns, focused on the SBA application. And if you can pull that picture again, you can see that he got approved shortly after filing his income taxes for a $650,000 SBA loan. After that, we moved organizations. This was when we were at the CDFI and the Intersect Fund giving loans up to $500,000, where we were also giving people business advice. So again, it was the banker, part of the advisory board, and us, part of the consultants, right? Sorry, Andrew, the picture left again. You can pull it up. Okay, great. So then in 2018, 2 years later, we refinanced that SBA loan into a conventional loan, which saved the customer $30,000 a year of interest. So now we improved the terms of the funding, and that's part of being in the advisory board, right? After the pandemic hits, this is 4 years later, and he was able to get an EIDL loan from the SBA for $800,000. And what happened is that we were able to switch him from a 5.5 variable interest rate, 25 years amortization, to a 3.75 UCC liens only, 30 years amortization. That is crazy. And that's only because he has followed the advice that the banker gave him and we gave him. And he has been able to grow. And we don't know where what the next step is, but we know where we're going. We're getting him aligned to get to the winery, to that dream goal that he wants. So that is what a good advisory board does. They turn it from a no to the, okay, you got approved, to better terms, keep growing.
Okay. And, even though people might not fully understand how much better that loan is,
yes,
it is way better.
It's way better. Way better.
But, you're not going to do that on your own a lot. And that's part of your journey, is you take the journey with people who want to see you successful and are willing to help. And part of the, when it's a win-win, because one, sometimes you're doing business together. Sometimes you're educating them. Sometimes you're sharing your relationships, they're sharing their relationships, but all along the way, you're benefiting each other. And that's really what relationships are all about.
Look at Señor Sangria, since 2014, right? So this is a long-term thing. I'm your friend for as long as you want to grow.
Yep.
That's it.
And even if you couldn't do what he needs, you would tell him what he needs and connect him with someone who can get him what he needs.
Right. And then getting closer to the next level. Look at where he started, a declination to $800,000 EIDL. The tools he has been aligned. He has fixed everything that he can get that loan. There's people that have been in business for a longer time, right? And we're unable to get an EIDL that size. And that is going to propel his business to the next level, right? But now, just because you have money doesn't mean that you're just going to grow. You need the brains to help you, right? To figure out, okay, how are we going to make this money flourish?
Okay. Yeah. No, so definitely we got, a lot of, with the relationship around that. So, we've talked a little bit, we've talked about a lot of stuff, but also time has gone really fast because,
yes, it has.
we're pushing up to almost 9, but we've covered some really good things. But what I like to ask each of my guests is to really think about what are the most important 3 things that we talked about that you can start doing tomorrow or tonight if you're so inclined. But really, this is about action. We want, you as a business owner, you got to take the actions that are going to make you successful. So, it's okay for us to talk about stuff, but you're not going to move any further unless you do stuff. So, take a sec to think about, what 3 key things that you want people to take away with and get started immediately. And I'll take a second just to, for those of you who are familiar with the Power Breakfast, you know what it is. If you're not, we just had one, which was outstanding, and great way to build connections, build relationships, do some business. And so this is a quick highlight of what the Power Breakfast is. And our next one's actually going to be on July 29th, coming back to Newark, New Jersey.
That's awesome.
We've worked together for several years now. Access lent my clients billion. Actually, that's the wrong video, but it's the same guy. If you are looking to increase revenues, improve profitability, and or obtain financing for your business, you need to check out the Power Breakfast and Small Business Pro conferences.
My name is Andrew Frazier. One of the things we're here to do is supercharge your day.
Today's Power Breakfast has really been a phenomenal experience. I think it's exactly what business owners need, some true guidance of people who are genuine and really are leading them in the true direction of business growth and expansion.
The Power Breakfast is so important for the entrepreneurial community because it gives the various business people who come together an opportunity to interact and also do some business.
These events, hosted by Andrew Frazier, President and COO of Small Business Like a Pro, will supercharge your day.
Okay, welcome back to Leadership Live at 8:05, talking small business. I'm here hanging out with Alejandra Giron and really talking about, how do you develop the team of advisors that can help support you in growing your business. So we've talked about a whole bunch of stuff. All of it's important, but you can't do everything. So what are the top 3 things that we should be taking away and thinking about and putting into place tomorrow?
Into place. So the first thing that I would say is make sure that you're on your business mission. Make a, think about it today and say, when I started my business, did I have the same mission that I have today? Has that mission changed? Has the structure changed? Has anything changed? And based on that, I would look at the business plan and contact a good business consultant, wink, wink, Andrew. And I would have that person check it, right? So first is check the mission. 2, check the business plan. And number 3 is talk to your business banker. And if you don't talk to them, if you don't have a relationship with them, I'm going to do a shameless plug here and I'm going to tell you to call me because, we want to make sure that you are in the right position, that you have the right tools in the bank that is supporting your business, and that is, you look at your bank account every day. You need to have somebody in the bank that talks to you often. So those are the 3 things that I recommend.
All right, excellent. So no, those are all great. Definitely, this has been really good. I think people found it to be valuable. And definitely thanks, Karen, for joining us from Pittsburgh. And thanks everybody else for joining us as well. So I'm going to close it out, but hang on, Alejandra, and we'll chat for a minute before we go. So, so once again, thanks for joining us for Leadership Live at 8:05. We try and bring you some valuable content and conversations about how to be more successful as a business owner, because the more you know, the faster you'll be able to grow. Next week, I'm excited to have a guest, Anthony Nitsos, and he's founder and lead guru of SaaS. So what is SaaS? So if you know what SaaS is, throw it in the chat real quick. But he works on that. But one of the things that he does is uses technology and works to optimize your business so that you can scale faster and you can be more profitable. So we're really going to be talking about how do you scale your business? How are you able to be more profitable? So I think nobody doesn't want to scale their business or doesn't want to be more profitable. So, definitely invite you to come join us. And Jimmy Newsom wins the award as SaaS is software as a service. So everybody out there has actually used SaaS. So if you use QuickBooks Online or any online software that you're paying for on a monthly basis or annual basis, those platforms are SaaS. So Jimmy, congratulations. Also, just want to let people know that Jimmy does Moving Forward Small Business. He spoke at a recent Power Breakfast that we had, and he's also been a guest on here, but he's a digital marketing expert, and he's running seminars on digital marketing, which, first, it's hard to understand. It's hard to get someone good who can communicate it in a way that you can understand. So I'm going to put it in the chats, but think about checking it out if you want to learn more about digital marketing. Thanks again for the STEM City USA. STEM City USA is a metaverse, and actually what they do is, we broadcast our show live through their metaverse as well. So definitely, they're on the cutting edge of technology, doing great stuff, and appreciate the opportunity to reach their audience in that space as well. So thank you everybody for joining us. We'll catch you next week. And at the end of the day, the more you know, the faster your business is going to grow.
Thank you for listening to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.